some of the finest people I've ever met in my life. I enjoyed every minute I had in the Navy.
America's military is the greatest in the world because of men and women who take pride in their role to keep us safe. No one demonstrates this better than Petty Officer First Class Stephen Woodfin of Harvest, Alabama. After being drafted into the Navy in 1968, Stephen found himself far from his small-town Alabama farm at basic training in Nashville and San Diego. He describes this journey from the farm to the Navy as, quote, a country boy in hog heaven. After basic training, he was shipped out to the South Pacific to serve his country for the next 4 years in the Vietnam War. Like many Vietnam veterans, Stephen saw firsthand the horrors of war. Yet, Stephen is still proud to say he served in the military and says his time in combat led him to meet some of the finest people he ever met. Shortly before returning home in 1972, Stephen met his wife, whom he describes as the best thing that ever happened to him.
We've been married 51 years. I have the best wife in the world, and that's the truth. My wife has been the best thing that ever happened to me.
After their return back to the States, Stephen took on several different roles, including husband, father, postal serviceman, teacher, and many, many more. For more than 2 decades, he worked at the local post office. Whether delivering or shipping mail, people in that local area could always count on him to help them with a smile and see the job through no matter how long it took. One Christmas Eve, he even worked late hours delivering hundreds of packages because of a delivery backup to make sure all the kids in his area could open their new toys on Christmas morning.
We had a couple of guys were waiting for the mail to come, for the carriers to come back in. And about that time on Christmas Eve, a big truck turned in, and it was an extra load of mail. And so the guy he was my supervisor, and he said, what are we going to do? And I said, you know what, I thought about how little kids, all of these little kids missing some of the presents and all that stuff. And I said, back your truck up here and let's do this. We did it all day afternoon long, and it was one of my favorite Christmas Eve, or my favorite Christmases that I remember at the post office.
This is just one example of the many of Stephen continuously putting his well-being before his own. He received several awards for his outstanding service, including Clerk of the Month and Carrier of the Month. This is no denying that Stephen's pride in helping others has been evident in everything he's done. In 1997, Stephen, his wife, and their 2 sons moved back home to Harvest to the same farm that he grew up on. There, he was able to pass on those same values like grit, hard work, to his sons, including James, who nominated him for this recognition. Stephen's story reminds us that we don't have to have a fancy title to make an impact, but you can make a difference with the roles you have, whether in the military, the farm, his family, or his community. Stephen has given 110% to everything that he does. It is my honor to recognize him as the February Veteran of the Month.